Alright, so we are live, guys. So it has been really on my mind quite a bit. Should I quit crypto? I think a lot of us have come to the point where you buy at $6,000. You thought, okay, this is definitely gonna be it. It's gonna have the Santa Claus rally. And then after that, we drop to 5,005. Okay, since we've experienced so much of a drop already, what is 20%, or what is 20%? You know, in crypto space, sure. Then we buy in again at 5,005, and it drops to a low of 3,600. No, wait, it dropped to 4,000 first, 4,800, drops to 4,004, and then it drops to 3,600. I mean, guys, are we really that desperate to become rich? And the answer is yes. We are all very desperate to become rich. But you know what? It comes to the point where, is this really the space for me? So I will always ask myself. My mom has been asking, you know, boy, your health of late isn't too good. You haven't been sleeping much. Is everything okay? So I tell my mom, you know, mom, I think the crypto space is dead. I might even have to close the company. I might even have to fire my staff. I don't know. A lot of things happen. The first to go will always be Mike lah, just so you know. It's just the way it is, you know, the hierarchy. I will never fire myself. I have too much pride to do that. So usually my intention is just to leave the whole space running for a while, pretend that everything is okay, but everything is not okay, guys. And it has been quite a fun ride, I must admit. See, we all started out in our bedrooms. Yeah, I mean, everything is fun and all. We really enjoyed the space. So I asked myself, if I continue to come out and talk about blockchain and cryptocurrencies, that's okay. You see, the good thing is that the blockchain is real. Okay, I cannot deny for the fact that countries, institutions, okay, at least from a country level, right, they are all really working on it. There are also institutions that are focusing on investing more money and more research. Obviously, more money means more research into blockchain technology. But you know what? You know what pisses me off the most? When Bitcoin.com, when CCN, when any major crypto news site, right, at the moment that we hold in high regard, whenever they have an article about these things or these announcements, right, they tend to be very skewed towards like driving a level of positivity, but then they also like to fuck you up by having someone who is a contrarian. So they always are playing two sides. Okay, they are trying to appear as if that they are obvious. I mean, obviously, when you create a news site that is pro Bitcoin, pro cryptocurrencies, pro blockchain, right? You want to be kind of you want to have like a market neutral, but we all know that they are pushing their own personal agenda. So you have one side, which is true, by the way, that governments, even for example, Project Pulau Ubin, right, is working on blockchain. Okay, I guarantee that is happening here in Singapore. And then after that, you have countries around the world, Switzerland, US, of course, you have a large part of the conglomerate. China also looking at blockchain technology. All this is real. So what is the consolation for us crypto enthusiasts, right? That majority of us don't know how to code. We hardly have the opportunity to spend our Bitcoin. Other than of late, we had NPXS having their POS systems, doing their marketing and everything, putting out their POS systems. Okay, so for a start, at least I can safely say that there is some level of usage for people like myself, who do not know how to code, who do not know how to create a smart contract. At the moment, I don't even know why would I even spend money on a blockchain game? I would not, right? I would not spend precious Ethereum to buy a fucking cat that looks like a deer. You know what I mean? It's like I wouldn't do that. But if people tend to see it as how we view game credits, maybe that's possible. But at the moment, I don't see that. So yeah, you know, the whole space, right, has this mixture of you know, we have crypto enthusiasts, we have the tech experts, we have the traders, we have the investors, and then we have everyone else in between who are still either sitting on the fence or just completely shying away from the space. So when I looked at the whole space as a whole, right, I asked myself, you know, everybody looks at this space and will have different kinds of emotions. Say for example, if you started out really late, okay, I cannot really speak for myself so much, but I really want to voice out how I would feel if I came in late 2017, early 2018, when things were 15,000 to 20,000. Let's say I assume that I was that late into the game. I would really feel very, very disheartened because I thought that things were gonna be, gonna be doing well, and I thought that, you know, if I had sacrificed a lot of my time and effort and try to understand the space, I would be making more money than I would be losing. But unfortunately, that has not been the case. To top it all off, you have bug delay, and at the same time, you have the fucking hash wars where Craig Wright, right, expects all the miners to be trading or validating transactions at zero. Now, this is what he communicated, but obviously no one in their fucking right mind would validate transactions on a currency that is worth zero. It really doesn't make sense to me, okay? So if you tell me that it has some value, but overall my cost per day is gonna cost me more to help you sustain this network, I will tell you to fuck off, because at the end of the day, I'm spending the money. You want me to dedicate to your mad scientist cause. It's not gonna work because I am a businessman after all. The reason why I stepped into mining, it's obviously I want to make money. So that being said, you have this happening, which causes the whole Bitcoin network to kind of slow down and fuck up and become expensive as well, obviously dragging the price down. So people like us are just caught in the fucking right smack in the middle of the rock and probably Craig Wright's testicles. This is literally what's been happening, right? Because this is just bad. It's just bad overall. And you ask yourself, right, even if you want to blame the existing financial system, yeah, we say that US is in huge debt, it will never come out of it. Yeah, you're right. By the way, you are right. The US will never ever clear its debt. Don't even fucking think about it. In a million years, it will never happen. But at least, right, when you know that I put my money in a stable coin, it's going to be okay. You know that it's $1 is still going to be $1. Now, that is from a very straightforward perspective, because we wanted to know the freedom of money, right? This is the freedom of money. Freedom of money is when you allow the market to decide. This is the only currency at the moment that really functions this way. You could be very rich one moment, but you can fucking be very poor the next moment. Just imagine if you were completely paid in Bitcoin when you first started out, because you completely believe in it. Let's just really think for real now, guys. Say for example, I know there are a lot of people who are very interested in this space. So let's talk real stuff here. Say for example, you were paid in Bitcoin when Bitcoin was, let's say when it was 15,000, okay? When it was 15,000, you received your first paycheck in Bitcoin. You are obviously going to spend some, but then after that, right, the first paycheck that you receive in January is no longer worth the same. So hopefully you were smart enough to hedge out. That means you have to consistently be in that level where, oh shit, I need to quickly spend on whatever I need to spend. I need to hedge out a certain portion, and I'll probably keep a portion for future use, since I believe that there will ever only be 21 million Bitcoins. I know for a fact that there's the Bitcoin halving in 2020, whether is it going to happen in June or July or whatever, and I will not have hedged out, right? So you have to kind of manage these kind of things. But as shitty as fiat is, or the US dollar, where you get zero interest for putting it into the bank account, okay, at least you know, okay, well, even if I don't have any kind of capital appreciation if I don't invest my fiat, okay, that means you practically are not in tune with anything with regards to investing. You're just a very hard worker, a professional in the a professional, and you're just working, or an executive or whatever. You're just working, okay, a 9 to 5 working. At least you know, oh, okay, if there's $3,000 in the bank account, it's $3,000 in the bank account. But right now, my paycheck that I got back in January is fucking worth less than $500. You see where I'm coming from? That's the difference. And that is the pain that we have to go through over and over and over again. So my approach, right, at least for a start, or at least anyone who's watching, okay, anyway, maybe it's already 15 minutes in, right? I just want to let you know I'm not fucking quitting crypto, guys. I mean, it's really dumb to quit crypto at this current juncture, because there's so much money being poured into the space, guys. There's just so much fucking money. You cannot quit crypto. You cannot. Because if people are looking at it and you fucking quit, that will be like, wow, that would be disastrous. Okay, that would be disastrous for you, because you have invested so much time, at least let's say if you were in January until now, you already invested 11 months of either money and time. Say you didn't have enough money, but I'm sure you've invested more than enough time. So we are now all just on the hopium that maybe Bitcoin will find a flaw. Really, we're not expecting much. Let's put Tom Lee's from Fundstrat's prediction of 15,000 aside. We don't give a shit whether McAfee's gonna bite off his balls or lick his own dick. I really don't care. Okay, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Okay, let's just be realistic on what this actually is, which is right now a permissionless network. Okay, for now, although it's not decentralized, please let's stop talking about decentralization. It's fucking stupid. Because at the moment, a majority of the miners come from China. Okay, so it's not decentralized. If you want the network to function, and the reason why we have this whole hash war happening is because it's not decentralized. Someone's controlling it. So it's very obvious that, unfortunately, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, there's no such thing as decentralization anymore. But right now, there is a huge flow of who owns the Bitcoins. So the question right now is, what is the intention of the Bitcoins going forward in the next 3 to 6 months? And that's what we need to discuss today on why you should not quit crypto. Because if you decide, you see, right now, am I right to assume? Let's assume that everyone's average salary is $3,000 to $5,000. Okay, let's assume. Okay, I really don't want to get into who's earning how much and whatever. Let's assume that this is the average salary of $3,000 to $5,000. In the past, when Bitcoin was $6,000 to $7,000, you wouldn't feel inclined to even buy. You wouldn't feel inclined to actually buy one whole Bitcoin, because you would have to save up all of your salary. That means you are practically someone who has no liabilities, which is impossible. You don't even have to pay for shit yourself. Then you're able to kind of purchase one whole Bitcoin after 2 months, which doesn't work. But right now, of course, a Bitcoin now is so much in reach for people. In fact, I'm really fucking hoping that this really drops to $1,000 and more people can start buying Bitcoin again. Because if that really happens, right, you want to allow more people to come in. I really still believe, right, that if the barrier of entry is going to remain low for a good period of time, that means we don't see whatever happened there in 2017. Fuck 2017, okay, that's over. It's not going to happen anymore. But if, let's say, Bitcoin just sustains itself between, okay, let's say between $4,000 to $6,000. Okay, $4,000 to $6,000. Let's assume, okay, it really stays there and creates a certain amount of stability. That means other projects that are using Bitcoin as a form of transaction. That means right now, if you want to get involved in trading cryptocurrencies, you can, right? And as someone who doesn't mind holding Bitcoin as a form of currency, if you decide to spend it, or, you know, really, if you decide to spend Bitcoin, let's not laugh at the people who believe in spending in Bitcoin, because sometimes their own currency, okay, may not be as reliable. You are really thinking for yourself sometimes. You got to see the bigger picture. Don't laugh at people when people are spending their Bitcoin on something. You see, I can laugh at you, right? Because you held your Bitcoin at fucking 15,000 all the way fucking down. Whereas I bought a car, I paid off for all my homes. I have fucking no debt. Right now, I'm running on free money as per se. So who's laughing now? You get what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna do that to you either, because I could have been in your position where I want to hit it big. I don't want to fucking be in the position where I wanna be able to be financially free. So I held on. I just held on and held on and held on. I'm a hodler. In the past, hodlers were laughing at people who sold off. Now, the ones who usually are trading it are laughing at the hodlers. You see? So you have to keep asking yourself, if all of us are in the same space together, we're all in it together, guys. Okay? Don't laugh at each other, because the percentage of people who are interested in cryptocurrencies, or at least blockchain, okay, cryptocurrencies is a little bit more. Okay, we're talking about maybe 2 to 3%, maybe not even 3% of the world's population. Then you have an even smaller percentage that understands how to build shit on the blockchain. And then you still want to make fun of each other. Seriously. I mean, guys, you all really have to fucking grow up. Like, really grow up like right now. Because if you really want to see this space move forward, build it together. Don't laugh at someone just because they use the utility, use the coin for what it's meant to be used for. Okay? If you are someone who knows how to utilize a smart contract platform, you know how to code, okay? Don't you need investors to support your idea? Let's say you built a dApp, okay? Let's say you built a dApp and you created a utility token and you wanted to raise funds for that, okay? Let's not say whether you're a scam or not. Let's just say you really are pure of heart. You created a dApp that you feel that could really be used for the betterment of other people. Okay, and you built it on whatever, EOS, Ethereum or whatever, okay? And you needed to further your idea. You needed to really develop your idea, and you really want to start hiring people. You start an ICO, right? And from there, people contribute also with this Bitcoin. It's the same as eating, you know? If you think about it, it's the same as eating. Because I believe in your idea, I believe that from your idea, it could either better my life or the life of others, or help me make money. So it depends on the angle of that individual and how you have kind of drafted up your white paper and how you position yourself as a creator in the space. Really. And then from then, if people buy your idea, are you trying to tell me that you don't want people to support this cause? Okay? That's the positive side. Now, obviously, people who are in the ICO space know that 90% has been wiped out from this whole space because a lot of them are bullshit. That is also another thing, right? That is also another thing that hinders us, and it kind of causes a lot of criticism in the space. A lot. Okay? And that is why right now the VCs know that the game is up. They want to wash their hands clean and say, guys, we completely see the fucking issue, but then again, they were also the ones that fucked the space up as well, because we clearly know that if there are VCs that were acquiring allocations and then selling it off at a premium because they didn't want to have their tokens gain value only when it hit the secondary exchange. They were able to get allocations from the project itself, and from then they were selling those allocations at a fucking 30% premium. We all know that that was happening in the space. So you see, the VCs also are playing this game because they know that they can flip faster compared to an IPO. Whereas if they were to do a normal ICO and have lock-in and everything, okay, if you're that kind of VC that agreed to be locked up, right? That means you were willing to stay invested in a project, you're willing to stay locked up, and you had maybe quarterly disbursement. Okay, I respect you. You're not in this category. But the fact that a lot flipped until they felt, no more money to flip already. By the way, there are still ICOs. Huh? Okay, so there was no more money to flip already. Now they created the STO market. So because they know that if I want to attract the so-called smart money, savvy money, I cannot be playing this punk game anymore. Since I've already built a name and a reputation in the space, I obviously want to still leverage on it. I want to look as if I am the authority. So from then, I start working on with projects that are offering custodial services, proper agreements, and at the same time, perhaps even giving proper voting rights and even equity to the company. You see, so at least everything is in the right direction. There is a for profit because a large part of the crypto projects, unfortunately, are non-profit. That means they are formed as foundations. Because as an ICO, you theoretically, if you do not want to offer any kind of financial benefit, and majority claim that they don't offer any kind of financial benefit, okay, so that they will not be considered a security. So we already understand this part. So now you see the whole space evolving. Sadly, there are still people who still think that the ICO market is still running. But people like us, right, we are already ahead of the curve. We know that, unfortunately, a utility token could have some value, but the likelihood of that happening is very, very rare. So I'd rather not invest in something that has those kind of odds. I will still stick to the STO space, but the question is right now, when is that going to happen? What is an STO? What is that true definition? Because at the moment, the SEC doesn't even know, just kind of came out a little bit of a framework for ICOs. And now you're kind of telling me that there are STOs. If everything is going to be regulated the same way as shares, then great. Because you know what? Then you are now given the opportunity to buy fractions of a particular asset, a particular company. For example, if you were to buy, let's say you wanted to buy BAE Systems, or you wanted to buy Procter & Gamble. Procter & Gamble is, let's say $91. Okay, I'm giving you an example. Okay, you want to buy fractions of Procter & Gamble. Let's say I only want to buy $10 worth of Procter & Gamble. You can't do that. You at the minimum you have to buy one. Then together with any fees on top of that, it kind of doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So right now, with the introduction of STOs, I sincerely hope, I'm not a genius, I just sincerely hope that if these companies are willing to kind of port over, it will give you the benefit of owning a portion or a fraction of Procter & Gamble. Let's say you cannot afford to buy the whole $91 worth of Procter & Gamble. You see, that way people who want to really believe, at least if people really believe in financial inclusion and not exclusion, they can start creating portfolios, no matter how small, with proper stocks, or at least stocks that they can believe in, right? And then from then you will see the whole space starting to evolve. At the same time, it encourages both the markets to transition from the digital asset space to the IPO space and back and forth. You know what I mean? It offers both sides. Then of course people will question, hey, if that were the case, wouldn't the old world want to protect their interests? Well, then it's just very simple. It's just adopting the blockchain. It's just digitizing the shares. It's no fucking big deal. But then I think there are a lot of other things like stock splits, and how is that going to affect? Because stock splits kind of also dilute the shares. There will be more shares in the market, so on and so forth. But that is another tale for another time. So my piece of advice for everybody at the moment, sincerely, if you already stuck it out already, right? Maybe you should just take a step back, rework your portfolio. Don't be too upset, you know, and emotional, because right now you want to be learning more, because the stock market is going to correct, guys. Okay, from healthcare to utilities to consumer staples to basically tech stocks, everything is going to correct. Okay, so you are left also in a spot where I think I should take a step back, hold some cash, and wait for things to happen. Because honestly, when the equity markets start to correct, right, you now have another space and a financial asset to look into already. You don't have to feel sad. The crypto market right now, right, being that it's so it's actually very clean now. If you think about it, if you already know how to filter, right, it's actually very easy to filter. It's easier than the stock market because the stock market has been around longer. There are more credible companies in the stock market as opposed to the crypto space. So right now, right, in the crypto space, I don't find it difficult. I just find it painful to look at, obviously, right? Because the whole market has corrected drastically. And even if we fall below 100 billion, so be it, man. Because if the whole space has all air, we really will suffer. We have to suffer first because it's the initial phase. It's still starting up. Everyone's like, let's just be very honest. A large part of all these projects if 90, okay, think about it this way. We are all startups. Are you going to say that everyone's going to be successful? Are you going to say that everyone has the same caliber, same level of intelligence, marketing skills, and have the money to hire the right people to make sure that your company is successful? Everybody, every entrepreneur would love to think that way. But when reality hits and they start running out of money, or when they create an MVP and nobody wants to buy, that's when the reality will sink in. That's when you really have a reality check, an ego check, or whatever you want to call it. Because when you are an entrepreneur, you would always think that that is my baby. Don't insult my baby. But you know what? The market always decides how credible your project is. You know, it's really the truth. It's really the truth. And and all these projects will know soon enough, because the moment if they launch a retail product and there's little to no customers, they launch an enterprise solution or enterprise product, there will be no partnership signed, or practically after maybe a 3 months to 6 months trial, obviously companies, right, enterprise solutions will always trial, and they will say, I'm so sorry, blah 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 project, this really isn't working out for us. That's when you got the MOUs, right? And then after testing, then it becomes a MOA. It's always on trial, guys. If I'm a big company, I know that I have a huge amount of money, I'm not going to commit immediately, you see? And although that benefits the company, as in the young company for now, to show that, wow, maybe Nestle, just giving you an example, maybe Nestle is working with me. But that doesn't equate to an immediate revenue turnover. You know, it takes time until a MOA or a memorandum of agreement has been signed and there's actual numbers that we will be investing in so and so platform, and then you're going to see suddenly the token price maybe appreciate. But then again, tokens do not equate to the actual performance of the product. Only shareholders will benefit. So I'm just sharing with you the thought process of what goes on and why, even though the stock markets are boring, they don't really offer that much upside unless you're willing to hold a long term. Just trust me when I say this. Just look at any stock, 08, okay, 08 to 2013, and then after that 2013 all the way until where it is right now. Look at it, and then you tell me, okay, wasn't there growth? But to be honest, it's so difficult and challenging to say that in the next leg, because there was quantitative easing at that time. After Lehman Brothers came about, 08 was the injection of free money. Okay, there was a lot of free money, cheap lending. Okay, I would say cheap lending. Okay, and banks were lending very aggressively to companies to just help them keep afloat or to help them to grow. It really depends on what segment they were willing to take the risk. And then after that, when the market started to cool off, they were a little bit more generous to lend people to leverage on fucking housing. So the whole cycle is starting again, guys. Why do you think the New York Stock Exchange, Nasdaq, everything corrected? We're talking about 2018 gains for most popular equities are gone. The opportunity is coming, guys. You just have to be patient. And then once you realize that is when, hey, maybe for me, a guy who has less than $10,000 in the bank account, I could potentially make it. You see, so you have to be a little bit patient. If you don't have a lot of dry powder, you don't have a lot of bullets, you don't have to be disheartened, because you have to start from somewhere. You have to start building and investing in your own knowledge. Because if you don't even know what to do, even if the fucking market corrected, you wouldn't even know because you're still in your little box. You know what I'm saying? So start looking and finding the right resources for yourself. I'm already giving you a lot of hints already in this video. Start learning, start preparing already, guys. If you don't fucking prepare, if you don't have money, do a side hustle. Okay? If you don't have money, do a side hustle. Do some consultation work. Go and work over the weekends. Because if you really want to enjoy, okay, having multiple years and having more than 31 days of holiday, or at least 25 days of holiday in a year, you need to be willing to dish out. You really need to start grinding. You really need to start hustling. This is not to be missed, guys. Okay, this is not to be missed. Because the moment fucking everything just melts, right? It's when it's your time to buy. It's your time, not my time. It's your time to buy. Okay? So with that being said, don't quit. Don't quit, guys. It's really there. It's really, really there. It's just very unfortunate that there are people, businessmen, organizations that want to fuck up this whole space for their own benefit. Every single financial market is like that. Every single one. Think of it this way. If you were running a business, you would also care about your bottom line. You would also manipulate your way to the top. Don't pretend that you wouldn't do that. Even if you are in a job right now, are you trying to tell me there's only one fucking position and 5 other people that are candidates that are vying for your position, you are not going to try to outperform them or backstab them in some way? Come on, let's just be very honest. It is always like that. I've seen it happen in McDonald's, where I have friends who are even complaining and arguing. We're talking about McDonald's here, just to be the supervisor position. There's fucking politics in there. There is fucking people who are flipping burgers in that same position and making a scene sometimes, like shouting at each other. The world is fucking angry and you need to make use of that. You need to leverage on that, be level-headed and invest in yourself. Pump in as much knowledge as you can into this so that you can start making money, so that you can enjoy life with your friends and family. That is what you want, right? So if that is what you want, don't fucking quit. Alright, with that being said, we'll see you in the next stream, guys.